Hello, my name is Gadi Pang and I'm going to be informing you about sex trafficking and prostitution of women, men, and children. Sex trafficking is a modern-day version of slavery and occurs in a global scale. The reason why sex trafficking is considered as slavery is because it involves a person who uses dirty methods like threats, lies, death, and more in order to force women, men, and children to sell their bodies for sex against their will. Human and sex trafficking is a business which makes billions of dollars, similar to historical slavery. However, the difference is rather for the victims and how they are held. They can be physically held, financially, psychologically, or even emotionally held by their traffickers. For those who are under the age of 18, under federal law they are still considered a minor, and this means they are automatically a victim of sex trafficking whether they were forced to or not. Anyone is a potential in becoming a victim of human sex trafficking because there is no race, gender, religion, or age discrimination on who might get involved. This means a bigger chance of those around you who may become a victim of someone who may be lured into becoming involved in sex trafficking. Many people are recruited with the promises of good jobs, a job which pays well, but in reality they are ringed into the business of sex trafficking without them even knowing. Human sex trafficking is not limited to just women. Although a majority of victims are women, there are men as well. Not many people hear about the sex trafficking of men because they feel ashamed or humiliated, and so oftentimes they refuse to report on what has happened to them. Men are also not given as much support as women are given, but internationally they are given more attention than they are domestically. A clinic for sex-trafficked men has recently been opened and they are given the support they needed in that clinic. Human sex trafficking can also happen anywhere, even where we live. Oftentimes we hear about sex trafficking stories in another country, like in Asia, or smaller areas like in Cambodia. However, there is no limit to where human sex trafficking can occur, and it is very likely it has happened in an area where we live. There is sex trafficking in big cities like in Atlanta and Los Angeles, which is only a 6-hour drive away from San Francisco. So who is to say there is no sex trafficking all over the United States? We are just not informed about this because either they have not been found or there are not enough reports about sex trafficking in the areas. Places human trafficking can occur in can be very common places without you even knowing, like in hotels, nail salons, or even restaurants. There are many places which can have human sex trafficking, and not enough people are reporting these places because they do not feel a need to get involved. Now who is the one in control of the ring of sex trafficking? There are many people, and majority of them are involved in the business to make money. Money plays a large part of human sex trafficking, and unfortunately, there are even mothers who sell their daughters' bodies out in order to make money for the means of living. An example would be the case of a mother and a daughter from Cambodia. The family was falling into poverty, and at this time, a mother made a hard decision to sex traffic her 12-year-old daughter, Q. Her mother had told her to take a job, but she had not expected to be taken to a hotel and raped by a man for 2 days straight. She was sold for her virginity because before she was taken to the hotel she had gone to the hospital to get a certificate for her virginity proving that she was a virgin. When she returned home, Q was heartbroken because she had just been sold by her own mother. But even on her return home, her ordeal was not over. Her mother, Nong, took her daughter to a brothel, and again she was raped by men for 3 days there, and she was held like a prisoner in the brothel. After the first brothel, Q was then sent to 2 more brothels, and she realized before her mother sold her again, she had to leave home, and this time she had found out it wouldn't have been for a few days, but her mother would have sold her for 6 months long. And human sex trafficking does not always mean you have to be kidnapped by a predator. You can also be kidnapped, or you can also be sold by someone you know and even trust. Human sex traffickers can be anyone, and victims are not discriminated either. Whether it be in the United States or in an international country, human sex trafficking is a large conflict that still occurs daily. Anyone can help with the fight against stopping human trafficking. Learning to recognize potential victims of human sex trafficking and reporting it to the National Human Trafficking Resource Center to get help. is a distribute public awareness notices, and donating to organizations that fight against human sex trafficking helps as well. Helping is possible in ways without getting directly involved, and anyone who is willing to help is needed. You can help stop human trafficking starting today.